James Pomfret, how many people are still inside the campus?
There are still hundreds inside, and the protesters are very determined. They made 2 attempts today to try to get out of the campus, but each time it just proved too difficult to breach the lines of riot police. So they just attempted the second attempt to breach the line, and they've been forced back inside now, and many of them are just taking a rest.
What are conditions like inside the university?
Conditions are quite tough. Food is running out in the canteen. The protesters are tired. They've been occupying this campus now for close to a week. Not just the campus, but a major road, a major highway next to it, the Cross Harbour Tunnel, which links all of Hong Kong Island to Kowloon. So authorities have been trying very hard to get this link back, but so far they're not responding to the protesters' demands, which include calls for full democracy and to fully enshrine their rights and freedoms that they feel have been eroded under Chinese rule.
You point out the broader demands of the protesters, but you also say that they've been trying to breach the line to get out of the university. What's it going to take, do you think, to end this particular standoff?
It's really quite a difficult situation to be in. The protesters say they're fighting for freedoms that are deserved under Hong Kong's mini-constitution, the Basic Law. But authorities, including Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam, she's not meeting some of the other broader demands of the protesters, and it's a real tough situation in that both sides are taking a hard line and not really willing to compromise. So I fear that there could be some violence, further violence and clashes that could lead to bloodshed.
Are the protesters preparing for the possibility that the authorities may storm the university?
They are. In fact, for the past couple of days, they've already been prepared for that possibility that the riot police might come in at some point. But so far, they've pretty much held their ground outside the university. They've tried using water cannons, tear gas, longer range, non-lethal projectiles to just try to clear the protesters from the road outside the university. But that hasn't really been successful yet. So I get the sense that the authorities, they're playing a waiting game now. They're just trying to run down the energy of the protesters and try to get them to come out and then make some arrests like they did this afternoon.
James Pomfret, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Outside the university is Al Jazeera journalist Sarah Clark. Sarah, I guess what everyone is wondering is what is going to happen next. Is there any sort of visible police presence where you are? What's going on?
There's been a heavy police presence where we are, which is the Polytechnic University, the campus in Kowloon. There's been hundreds of riot police here all day, and this has been the scene where we've seen mass arrests by these protesters, and the riot police might be able to see behind me, there's been some black clouds going off above the campus as we speak. But certainly we had a number of protesters trying to flee the campus. They've been holding there over the weekend or since Friday. We've had a number of surrender, we've had a number arrested, but we also had 3 of them run across the top of this overpass trying to get away from police. So certainly where we are, it's almost like the last battleground for these university students. It's the last campus where these protests have holed in, and we believe there's still a small group holed up within this campus now.
And Sarah, the Hong Kong High Court today overturned a mask ban that the government had introduced. What's happened there?
This was quite a small victory, I should say, for the protesters, but certainly a victory of some sorts on a horrible day in Hong Kong. This is where a group of pro-democracy lawmakers, the Pan Democratic Party, they took this particular case of the emergency laws to the High Court, and they won. Today, the High Court challenged that particular ruling and overturned it, describing it as unconstitutional. So it's a small victory for these protesters. But the question is now whether or not, or what to do with all those protesters and the students and the people who've been arrested based on those powers or on those new laws over recent months.
Sarah Clark, thank you very much. Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.